what's going to happen today. We're going to take a look at the board in its stock configuration, and then we're going to mod the board. We're going to take it apart.
Good day, Alex and keyboard friends.
We're looking at a Razer keyboard. Yeah. Okay, so let's clear up some stuff first. I want to do this stream, and I want to be like, not serious about it, but at the same time, I also want to have a bit of fun. Razer did send this stuff over for us to take a look at. There are no expectations of sending it back, so this is a sponsored stream. Little history. Razer sent this about 2-3 weeks ago, and I have been using this alongside some other boards that are not really part of the custom scene for the last, I would say, month. And I've been really giving them a good try. I was pretty impressed with a bunch of different brands. There's definitely some stuff that's still very much lacking, and if I can give some input and maybe things that I've seen, I don't know how much of that applies to what they're trying to do, but there's some stuff we'll bring up today. But I got to admit, the most impressive of all the ones that I've tried so far, and I've tried a few, like I said, I would say the two most impressive were the Asus one, the ROG version there. So that I used for about a month as well. And this one here has been about a little over a week. This is probably first place out of all the gamer custom boards that are out there. It's pretty surprising, but also I'm not surprised because I actually don't mind Razer products. To talk about this a little bit, Razer has a good PCB in here. It has the high polling rates, which a lot of gamers have been going for. I've heard some controversial things about that. Number one, which is some people say that the polling rates are actually kind of negative to the computer itself, and they kind of make the computer run a little hotter and do a little bit of extra work. I haven't really noticed too much, anything in my gaming computer for that. Some other stuff that I was decently surprised with is, not surprised with. Guys, let me tell you, the software for most brands, nothing really holds a candle to just how simple VIA is. Nothing. It's very, very hard to describe how simple VIA is when you're using some of these other softwares. I feel like the worst one that I tried was the Asus one. And I would say the best one out of all of that was actually the Razer one. Now, keep in mind, I am familiar with the Razer software already. I'm not saying the Razer software is good, but it was better than the competition. Logitech's is okay. Again, I've used just about every brand's software at this point. I would say the second worst one was probably Corsair. I didn't really like their software, and I still have to use their software for other computer parts on my computer, which is sucky. But again, VIA still takes the cake. If I was to compare this, and this is what today's stream is going to be about, it's going to be taking a look at this in stock config, then we'll take it apart. We're going to put some obscuras inside of it, and then go from there. But yeah, nothing still holds a candle to how simple VIA is. Synapse is a big no. Some people don't like any of this software, and I was very aware of that going into this. But I've actually had Synapse on my computer for what feels like ever because I have a Razer mouse, even prior to taking a look at this. And I guess I don't mind Razer. Asus's, I can't even pronounce it, their software was probably the worst. That was by far bottom of the barrel. But I have to admit the Razer one wasn't that bad. But here's what's surprising about this board, and the reason why I kind of like this versus everything else. First of all, with the exception of this, I don't really like the aesthetic of this going on here. I don't mind the scroll wheel though. But they got like a little cherry lip thing going on over here. And this is really to, I guess, attach their wrist rest. And again, I don't know if this was intentional. It's actually very comfortable. Like out of all the boards, this had to be the most comfy to type on. And that's why I wanted to do this one here out of all the boards I took a look at. And I'll have like a big document about all this stuff I'll eventually do. But it was pretty comfortable, I have to admit. The bottom is plastic. Bit of a bummer there, unfortunately. But the top frame is aluminum on this guy. So again, it does have a little bit of a hidden USB-C cable there. I didn't have any problems with any of the cables that I used, fortunately, which is fine. And then you have flip-up feet, which you can go between, was it 6 degrees and 9 degrees or something like that, or you can just do flat, which I actually preferred using none of these. For me, this was the most comfortable. So I guess my next big thing was like, what other things do I like about this? Well, it has ABS keycaps, which was nice, so double shot ABS, albeit I think these are still a far cry from keycaps that look any bit nice at all. They still kind of got that gamer font on it. I understand why these are, shine through. I really wish Razer would, or I guess all these gaming companies, I really wish they would kind of invest into figuring out some more timeless legends, not this kind of font. But I have to admit, this is not as bad as some of the other ones, I guess. But I think the main draw here is probably, again, the high polling rate on the PCBs for those who care about that, which is good. It has that kind of component which people might care about. And I'd say an overall decent chassis. Overall, the board's not terrible looking. I want to get rid of these keycaps. Like, I can't wait to actually mod this thing. But I think the best part about this board in the 1 week that I've been using it, so I basically used them all for about like 1 to 2 weeks. Believe it or not, the switches in these, the Razer switches, you guys, I think actually you guys told me about this. The Razer switches, these orange tactile ones in particular, they're pretty good actually. This is hot swappable. Yeah, you can do hot swap. I didn't think I'd like the tactile switches here, but they're pretty damn solid. The keyboard does come like pre-lubricated and, you know, all the stabilizers and stuff. I didn't really find a need to go and mod them further, but let's take a look at what it sounds like, and then we can actually take this apart. I just wanted to get this first part out of the way. But overall, I'd say, again, out of most of the keyboards from the major brands in stock configuration, this is probably the one that I would end up going with easily, just based off of software and everything else. So this is stock. I have not done anything to this. My thought process on this was it's definitely not as bright, not even base, but it doesn't have some of that character we're used to. And I wasn't too sure if that was because the plastic bottom. I wasn't too sure if that was with all the mods they've done. And as we open this up, you guys will see there's a lot of mods. Now, the one thing I don't love about this board is if this board is aimed for someone to customize it a little bit more than the usual. Apparently, if you open the board up, it voids warranty. Now, I understand the idea is for people to use hot swap switches and just pop them in. You guys know how I feel about that. I think that's usually a no-no. I know there's some sort of tape mod on the back of this that might help those hot swap sockets stay in place. But again, if it's going to be aimed at a more customizable market, then I would hope they would have some sort of measure that if you open this thing up, you're not going to void the warranty. But we're going to open it up and see how we like it. In the box too, there was a wrist rest. There was some other minor accessories like a keycap puller and stuff. I tried using the wrist rest. I didn't really like it. I think this was actually very comfortable without having the need to use one. But overall, decently impressed. But now we're going to tear it open and we're going to change every little part inside. So we'll see. Magnetic screws though, that's nice. Yeah, the bottom is plastic and the top is aluminum. Goodbye warranty. See ya. It does come stock with plate mounted stabs, which we'll probably switch out as well. Okay, now there should be a ribbon cable right here. And this is kind of where it falls a little flat, IMO. Is this will have a lot of cables. I do appreciate this being on the top, but the ribbon cable makes it a little awkward there. I know you're not supposed to open it. And I think there's gonna be like another 3 ribbon cables here or something, another 2. So we have to carefully disassemble that. And there's a JST connector here as well for the daughter board, which is impressive. Haven't really seen these type of boards with daughter boards in it. So you can see the RGB has some foam on the side, and this is a gasket mounted keyboard, which is interesting. This little piece of foam probably not going to do much, but it's very thin. I highly doubt that's doing anything for the sound profile here. Well, I can't say I would recommend this product to anyone. I'm happy to see Alex is getting recognition from bigger brands. Well, you know, it's more than that too. I think it's important to look at these things personally, because if we don't look at them and we don't weigh in our opinions, like nothing's going to change. So I'm hoping that if we do have some things that we can say or things of criticism, not just me, but everyone here, it's also a great learning opportunity for Razer, because I would love to see some of the bigger brands get involved in keyboards, you know? And I also don't want to be closed-minded and assume that everything that outside of the custom world is bad, because I think that's a bad mindset to have too. Because again, I actually found this board quite comfortable to use. It was not bad. I actually enjoyed using it playing video games. Some magnets here on the front too. That's for the wrist rest, because it's a magnetic attached wrist rest. Now we have the tape mod. We're gonna just start removing all of this stuff. I'm gonna leave the plate foam probably, but although this is adhesive, it's not difficult to take off, which is not bad. Let's start taking off all the keycaps too, and we're gonna disassemble this guy, because we're gonna put in some other switches and whatnot. I think we're not gonna use these. I'm pretty positive we'll probably just switch to a GMK set. Now again, these are ABS and they're double shot. At first glance though, they don't look as thick as a GMK set though. but I still appreciate that they're using ABS versus PBT. I guess another criticism that I have for this too, and I don't really understand why companies do this, and Razer's not the only person who's done this, is they make pre-assembled boards, right? They do these boards like this, and they'll give you slots for PCB mounted. So you can obviously do them. And the plate supports it too, and they even say that you can do it. So why not just give us the PCB mounted stabs instead of just doing the plate mounted ones? I haven't really got a great answer on that. I feel like the answers I've received on why, like some people say it's easier to take apart and mod. I don't necessarily agree with that sentiment. Also, it's an FR4 plate, which I thought was very interesting as well. That was a little bit of an impressive choice too. Again, plates are all preference based. A lot of this stuff is, so. All right. I'm gonna be saving these switches too. I'm actually curious to use these in a different build. So we have an FR4 plate. We're gonna get rid of these stabilizers here in a minute too. We have some pretty plush gaskets. It makes sense they're doing north facing. I was actually gonna criticize the north facing LEDs, but I guess if they're doing shine through keycaps, like what most people would expect and it comes with, it makes sense just for the sake of the legends. So I'm not too butthurt about that personally. Nor have I really found a big issue with that most of the time. So I'm not too hurt by that personally. The board has a lot of good stuff going on for it. It still doesn't have like, I mean, it still has some stuff I wish would change. I do wish kind of the internals were a little bit more cleaned up. I wish they did have an option of some more premium bottom material or something with a little bit more mass to it to kind of help with sound, so they didn't have to rely on something like a tape mod. But who knows? They also have stab pads, which we're gonna take off. I saw this in some of the other content being produced for the Razer. And I'm gonna get rid of those because I hate stab pads and I think it kind of makes the stabs sound mush. Yeah, the angle of the cable's interesting. But also, you know what? Good for them, because I don't know where on earth they'd actually stick that otherwise. But good for them for making it fit. Now, obviously, layout-wise, we're not gonna get much out of this. We're removing the stab pads. We're gonna be removing the foam, and then we're replacing the stabilizer with cherry clip-ins. And we're gonna put obscuras in this board. And we'll probably end up putting the foam underneath the board to give it some extra density, because this is unfortunately, this is a very thin piece of plastic. Like, it doesn't really have a lot of like weight to it. So I want to add a little bit of like density to the bottom. So I think that's where we end up sticking it. All right, this doesn't actually look too bad. Again, this is deceiving. I thought these were knobs at first, but they're buttons. And this is a scroll wheel. Scroll wheel feels really good. We've technically left all the foam. I did remove the tape mod. This is completely gone out of it. I did take this out. This might be a preference thing. And then we swapped out the stabs and we swapped out the switches and we put a set of GMK on it. We've doubled the cost of the board, yes. I mean, Razer obviously is doing a bunch of stuff right here. I think this could be better. And if we're gonna talk about that, I think the few things that could make this better is maybe a little bit of an easier to open board that doesn't necessarily void warranty or anything like that. I think another thing that could make this better is they've just increased the thickness of the plastic on the bottom. Even they can leave the plastic for all I care, right? I don't think plastic's necessarily a bad material to use. But I think if they were to just make it a bit thicker or just add some density to the bottom, it could just easily make this sound a lot better too. It is $200. You do get a set of keycaps and switches though. Again, whether you guys want to value that at nothing, I would like to see them also maybe offer a bare bones version. The top case is aluminum. So this piece here is definitely a bit more premium. It's aluminum for this piece. But if, again, they could leave this, maybe just make it thicker. Really, that's all they need to do. Let's see if we put polyfill in this. I don't know if polyfill is a great. We're not gonna put too much. Too much polyfill is not good. I'm gonna leave the bottom foam. It's not even really a foam per se. It's just, it's a little thin piece of whatever here. No, actually, do you guys want me to remove this? I'll just remove it for now. It's paper thin. It's nothing. We can just do this. So So polyfill is basically what they put in like stuffed animals. What's the purpose of putting these in the case? It's polyfill is great on a more hollow or empty sounding case, which this is just slightly a little bit more hollow, empty sounding, and it does a really good job of kind of like filling in that gap per se. All right, so this is with polyfill now. Expect it. If I was to offer some criticism on like what the internals should look like, outside of the outside case, we're not going to talk about the casing yet. I think obviously no mounting posts underneath the spacebar. That should help liven up the spacebar a bit and make it not feel as fatiguing. I like what they did with the front height. I think this giant lip, whether it was intentional or not, because I know this is technically where the wrist rest snaps onto, it actually ends up being pretty comfortable. It's a decent little front height on this keyboard, like genuinely not bad. They did a good job there. Adjustable feet, I tried all of them. I did not like any of the adjustable feet here. I liked the standard, whatever it is for the typing angle here. Still, I guess nice that they had it. I think it'll actually change the sound a smidge if we pop it up. See, it just completely dies in sound signature now. Because now there's space underneath it. I don't like the poppable feet. Anything with empty space underneath it is not my cup of tea, but I get why it's there. I'm not gonna hate on it. Doesn't really take away from the board at all to me. It's white or black, that's it. And I think the white's a premium. But yeah, it's not terrible. It's not bad at all. I like what they did here. They obviously were listening. They've made a decent product. Even out of the box, it sounded good. It's a promising product. I like what Razer did here. It's pretty good. I still think it needs a little bit of work. And then when you plug it in, you got some RGB. You can still see it on the sides. That's a little tasteful on the sides. Razer does RGB well, but still not my absolute fave in the world when it comes to per key RGB. Don't care about that stuff. They've really listened to what people want. I feel like this is a pretty solid keyboard for anyone who wants that. I want to squeeze the Razer wrist rest. It is plush, it is nice. It's a decent quality wrist rest that they're giving you in the package as well. Thanks for being here, guys. I seriously love you guys. Thanks so much for all the support you guys give. I'll see you guys very soon. Bye, everyone. See ya.